بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وآله وصحبه وسلم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Inshallah, today I'm reading an hadith from Riyadh al-Salihin from the chapter باب تحريم النظر إلى المرأة الأجنبية والأمر الحسن لغير حاجة شرعية. Chapter on the prohibition of looking at a non-related woman or a young boy for no, or not a young boy but a beardless youth without any legal justification. So by the title of the chapter, Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah has given the hukm, because Imam al-Nawawi rahimahullah, don't forget, was a faqih as well as a famous muhaddith or master of hadith, and he is one of the leading latest scholars of the Shafi'i madhab, and his works actually are considered the final say for the fatwa position of the Shafi'i madhab. So this is a book of hadith, but the chapter titles are already indicating the fiqh, the ruling from the hadith which follow is that it's prohibited to look at a non-related woman without any legal justification. And he starts by quoting an ayah of Quran. قال الله تعالى قل للمؤمنين يغضوا من أبصارهم. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, say to the believers that they should look down, divert their gaze downwards. So what's the meaning of this in the Quran? And the Quran then also addresses the believing women, not just believing men, in an ayah soon afterwards, where it says, tell the believing women to lower their gaze. So what's the meaning of lowering the gaze? According to the Mufassirun, it means to lower the gaze from looking at that which is prohibited to you, and here primarily meaning people of the opposite gender who are unrelated to you. And if this is not the meaning, then what is the meaning of this ayah in the Quran? To tell the believing men to lower their gaze. What is the meaning of that then? And then Imam al-Nawawi mentions قال تعالى إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. Surely the faculty of hearing and sight and the heart, all of them will be asked about. So our hearing, what we listen to, our sight, what we look at, where we look, do we look at those things which is prohibited to look at? Do we look at those things which is makruh to look at? All of that will be asked about on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And the heart, those things that we intend with the heart, they are also noted. And the Prophet ﷺ explained in another hadith, if you intend a good action but you don't do it, you still get a reward for it. So you get a reward just for the intention, but you are unable to carry it out. However, out of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you intend a bad action but then you don't do it, you actually get a good deed written for you, because you didn't do the bad action which you had intended. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq. And in the hadith he mentions, first of all in the chapter, is from Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu, is quoted by Bukhari and Muslim, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, كتب على ابن آدم نصيبه من الزنا مدرك ذلك لا محالة العينان زناهما النظر والأذنان زناهما الاستماع واللسان زناه الكلام واليد زناها البطش والرجل زناها الخطأ والقلب يهوى ويتمنى ويصدق ذلك الفرج أو يكذبه. That each human being has his portion of fornication written against him, and he will surely come to that. The eyes, their fornication is in the gaze, in the look. The ears, their fornication is in the listening. The tongue, its fornication is in the speech. The hand, its fornication is in the touch. The foot, its fornication is in taking the steps. The heart desires and wishes, and the private organs will then make this thing a reality or will not make it a reality. So the Prophet ﷺ described the looking at the haram as the portion of zina, and the scholars and commentators mentioned that all of these things, looking at those things which are haram, and the other things mentioned in the hadith, before the actual act of fornication takes place with the private parts, all of those are considered to be sagha'ir, minor sins. In other words, you were sinful for doing those things, but they are minor sins, and they will be washed away between one wudu to the next, or one prayer to the next, or one jum'ah to the next, inshaAllah ta'ala, provided one doesn't fall into the major sin of fornication. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us from all of that. Wassalamu alaikum walhamdulillah rabbil alameen wa sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam.